Hey you guys, it's MJ from All to Love. Oh yeah, trying is not the right word. I am changing that starting to MJ, All to Love. I'm all to love. You guys, I felt like doing something a little bit different today because it's been kind of like a heavy few days and I've been like sharing some stuff, which I kind of feel maybe has been like triggering some people. 'Cause yet again, I've got loads more unfollows or unsubscribes or whatever. That's okay. I kind of just accept that for some weird reason I rub people the wrong way. At the same time, the more I expose my like raw vulnerability, I feel more deeply connected with those of you who are actually in resonance with me. So I'm super thankful. I'm just thankful actually for this channel. I'm really rather thankful for those of you who've just been kind of like there and supporting all along. And then the boost from Aluna has been incredibly yeah, like affirming and just help me feel more connected because I can be quite reclusive, and certainly in the last like sort of 6 to 7 years since I've been really doing the transformational work, um yeah, it can be quite kind of isolating or reclusive. And that's not like a complainy vibe. That's like actually for me personally, that's like a really empowering because it was when I went to Bali and wrote my book and I suddenly dropped into the space of like, oh, I totally love this like sacred time and I love connecting to like the people I'm connected to. I really do. But for me, energetically and staying really clear in my purpose and all of that requires me to stay really clear with the energies I engage with. Um, so that's me, and that's how I've come to be, and I appreciate it and I love it and I accept it. At the same time, it's obviously like any of us, I guess, we do there's a part of our ego, I guess, that does want to know that there are people who hear us, right? There are people who feel us. Hearing and feeling to me is kind of like the same thing, right? We like feel the totality. I talk about it in the Fearless Life Guide. Like, we're not this next level. It's not really just about like listening to the words and da da da. Like, and that's another section in the book, actually, beyond words. Like, really, we're heading into like funny old territory of like feeling energetic exchanges is the only way to really kind of tune into the harmony of that exchange. And it's in the intuitive knowing that we feel into, again, lies, deception, like, and then in retrospect, when we can like look over in reflection a situation or a cycle, we can see where we fucked it up, or we could see where we gave our power away, or we could see where we ran away from something that was awesome, or we could feel or see that like, oh, that wasn't this, that was this, and then I thought it was that, and da da da. So, it's kind of a nice way to be kind of detached, but at the same time learn a lot about oneself when it comes to like the patterns we carry, the stuff that we do. So maybe another reason I wanted to go live was like just sharing with you this um how the physical body always makes manifest a like underlying stuff that we're shifting, right? And it's really interesting to me because I don't if you look at my eyes, you might notice something on that eye. And the last time, I think you call them a it's basically like a pimple in your eye, which is gross, which is like um eye sty, I think they're called. And I'm quite lucky. Like when I get these funny things, they can look pretty brutal. This one doesn't really look so bad. And the last time I had one was in this part of my eye down here, I think. And I was in Spain. I was actually booked by some fancy people in the world of the world. like uh like, people who people fairly elite, you could say. The elite. And that's something like I res with people of all walks of life, and being straight up, a lot of my clients are like executives and you could say international elite, but I'm not talking like Rothschild elite. I'm talking more positive, hardworking families who have, or just yeah, there's that as well. Anywho, I digress for some reason. Oh, it's because yeah, the reason I got this that there, I swear to God, it was because like I was still processing because there was this part of me was like, yeah, I just got like a sweet little yoga gig with like, these kind of people, and that would be fun. That would do me just fine, right? And it was when I wasn't as committed to like all the online entrepreneurial stuff. I was just kind of dabbling in it, you could say. And I was writing the manuscript for what was then called The Path to Paradise for the Fearless Life Guide, but I didn't know like how I was gonna actually write the whole book or publish it or any of that. And um this trip to Spain, I get this sty and like I like process all of this emotion while I'm there in private, and then but then I'm obviously working, right? So like I'm also being told what to do and where to be and all this kind of stuff, and having conversations with like the groups of people, and like some of it was pretty diminutive as far as like just just the classic kind of story of like how could I possibly know what I'm talking about? I'm just some hippie or just some like, flaky yoga teacher or spacey. I don't know, and it's just and it's this is deep. I don't really want to go into it too deeply. But it's definitely part of my path and part of like the little turning points I've had. So like midweek, while I'm in Spain back in 2015, I get this like sty right here. And then due to like the energy processing that I've been processing in these last couple of days, some of which you've been privy to, you guys. Um, some of that processing I've been sharing with you guys. And lo and behold, look what I got. Look what I got. This is a sty. Now, again, it looks like eye, but inside my eye, it's pretty like uncomfortable and painful. Not so severe, and it will pass really quickly because I self heal and I'm like bringing the Celestine light to my eye because I'm always, I guess I really don't like labels, and you guys know that, but I'm like, that is in a way what you imagine a light worker to do is like the most of my days are spent just like yoking this light filled elixir within my consciousness, connecting to ascended masters in the solar world and potentially other Pleiadian and Arcturian and Sirian star systems, and using the Celestine elixir, the light filled pure vibration elixir, to just keep the vessel like mega happy. So there's another juicy insight. I do talk about this in the book, but not quite as like, I guess you could say, weirdly, because that's kind of like another veil or level, I would say, of an awakening and ascension process, but we can't open to it or absorb it until I would say until we're fully ready to integrate um that frequency of information into our beingness. There clearly has to be like something set up for our consciousness and then our body to be able to integrate the information in a useful way. This is the thing about integration, is that often, or embodiment, this is where we see it kind of fuck with people. Is like people committing themselves or going, having to have severe having and it's not this is good, this is great, more people having therapy and all that kind of stuff due to these awakenings, but thinking that they're mental, thinking that they're insane, thinking that they're going through this thing. And to me, I'm like, oh no, they're just awakening to their broader, deeper aspect, which people call the dark night of the soul. But to me, partly it's the dark night of the soul because there's darkness, and because we've been pretending for 12 years or 25 years, or we kind of disconnected our a whole bunch of stuff, right? And so we reconnect that, and yeah, dark night of the soul, because we've been in denial of a bunch of shit, or we've been just in denial of feeling a bunch of stuff that's there, trying to get ahead in the world, trying to make our way in the world, And then at some point, that past, that trauma, that cellular shit will manifest in our reality. And that's when it's an opportunity for us to sit with whatever it is that we're feeling and endeavor the depth of our totality so that we can integrate it, which means our conscious ability to see all that is and own it as your own creation. And that is some of the most difficult, uncomfortable stuff people don't want to do. And yet, the integration process is like your deepest, highest self basically lovingly embracing the density that you've been carrying, whether yours or ancestral or whatever. It doesn't really matter because we are all one as a consciousness. Like, you can literally like enfold your density, your darkness, your fears, your worries, your blah, 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 whether it's like tangible, visceral in your physical body, whether it's a projection in your mind, whether it's someone in your reality. You can literally in your own imaginative field integrate those as aspects of your totality so that you're not hidden from them, for one. And then as and when they keep popping up, you'll start to become more aware and more clear of what that thought frequency is. And then once you see it, then you can kind of go, oh, there it is. I don't need that anymore. So that once we see a certain thought frequency that we know is creating some bullshit, then we can consciously start reprogramming that thought frequency. So for me, when I was doing the reprogram around my body, it was noticing these like subtle attacks every time I look in the mirror. Every time chopping attack, like I would have these literal like, you're disgusting, you're blah, blah, blah. And so for years, not weeks, not months, not fucking days, like 21 days, lose weight, really? For lasting transformation? Not for me. So for me, it was like years of, instead of you're disgusting or like every time I notice it and like writhe in pain of my own suffering and self-loathing and self-disgust, I just replaced that with I'm not here to judge you. That was my reprogram. Instead of the self-disgust and hatred, it was and because energetically and or vibrationally, when it came to me and my relationship with my body, it's like I couldn't just jump from like the depth of like self despair and self disgust that I was harboring to like self love. Yeah, I love myself. I'm so sexy. No, I couldn't reach that vibrationally. What I could reach was this sort of, okay, I'm not here to judge you. And that energy, that closed the gap a little bit. And then probably after about like 18 months to 2 years of like just retraining the I'm not here to judge you, I started to like myself more. I started to be like, "Oh, hey." I started to see a difference. My clothes started to fit different. I started to look differently to myself in the mirror. All of these things took effect, right? Okay. So this is not zero waste, my friends. I still have like Katie Finch in my background being like, I'm sorry, my teacher. If you're super committed to zero waste, buy the Zenful Zero Waste course. And then hold me more accountable for this stuff. I'll get there, you guys. I'm not trying to pretend or anything. But I do endeavor it because I'm going to Indonesia and I needed some SPF 50 for my face. So this is Sun Balm SPF 50 water resistant. And the reason I opted for this was this is a little jar that I can definitely reuse for making balms and making different creams and stuff like that. And it is recyclable. But as we know now from the Zenful Zero Waste course, that actually recycling is a bit of a cop out. It's not really real the way we think it is. So again, if you want to learn more about why not recycling, that's actually in week 1 of the Zenful Zero Waste course. Okay, so I've put on, this is zero waste though, so yay me. This is just some kind of ointment. Oh god, I feel like I've like failed at this. This is Be My Baby UK. And then I'm looking at the bee and I'm like, why would I buy this if it was made with bee? But I'm sure it would have been vegan as well. Okay, I gotta look into that. I hope it was. Anyway, this balm slash What? What is this? Moisturizer. This is like for really sensitive dry skin, but it's got hyaluronic acid in it. So it's meant to be good for like keeping like it's meant to be good for I guess sunspots and wrinkles. Even though I do the self-healing and I also do it on a sense of like I'm forever young. My cells always regenerate. Aging is just a mental construct. We're actually eternal, immortal beings who are regenerating via the elixir of life and our own conscious will, which we direct through thought and energy flow. Um, so this is to just me buying into the fear of our culture and and getting SPF 50 for Indonesia because I'm leaving for Indonesia in a couple weeks. And as much as I'm a bit of a renegade, you guys know that I have this thing called vanity as well. And then maybe I'm not as vain as I think, but I'm pretty vain. But like, beauty gurus and stuff, that's like a thing. They're like popular. And like I watch some of them and dig them. Like I think they're cool girls, a lot of them. Some of them I don't resonate with as much, but like, and a lot of them are kind of like into the vegan stuff or into the cruelty free or what same thing or into the um that's why that's why I really like Jenna Marbles. Now she's not necessarily into like uh zero waste stuff, but I kind of like I probably write Julian and Jenna a bit of a letter and be like, guys, try to go more zero waste because they're vegan and he's celiac, I think. So and they do quite a lot. I just watched one yesterday of them making pre-prepping their Thanksgiving dinner vegan style and poof, it's good. This is not healthy vegan stuff necessarily, but it is tasty. Like the number of vegan food cooking stuff that I've watched on the Jenna Marbles channel, like makes me super proud to be a vegan. Makes me super proud that one of the probably the biggest YouTubers. I don't actually know that for a fact at all, but Jenna Marbles is a girl that I dig on YouTube, partly because she's vegan, but also she's just funny and says a lot of good stuff that I actually think, again, like the stuff she says is empowering. It's good for the people of this next generation. I think she's like connected to herself and feels, and the fact that her boyfriend Julian are vegan is just like a massive bonus, and I just so enjoy watching them cook stuff when everything they do is vegan. So I've put this, and I didn't realize, but this factor 50 is quite like gray. But now, and I've shown this to you guys before. So this is me doing my makeup. 5 minutes. Impossible. I'm looking at the clock being like, and now it's 18 minutes. And I've just been blabbing on about nothing important. But that's life. Okay. So you guys can see my swanky makeup style. Now I want to be careful because this thing is pretty painful. And I don't have like I don't know like what beauty gurus use for I'm not your guru, people. I'm thinking, I don't know, that train of thought was thinking about, oh, how funny, beauty guru. And that we have this expression, guru. And then I'm like, people sometimes call me spiritual guru. And I'm like, I'm not a guru. And then I think about like that Tony Robbins thing of, I'm not your guru. I know. We're all just humans. And really, we're all our own gurus. But the system makes everybody feel not enough. And so everybody is chasing their tail looking for themselves, looking for their own guru, but it's them. That's how I see it anyway. Like, guys, you're your own guru. Guru. Oh my god. I am mental. So, ooh, ow, ow, ow. So, I'm gonna finish writing an article for Badassery Unleashed magazine, which I think you guys should check out. I've submitted one column, and the first one is something about how to unfuck yourself. She's a big, the woman who runs Badassery Unleashed magazine is, eh, yeah. Um, she's got a bit of a party mouth, as I do, so we like to kind of be bold and allow for potty mouth words in our articles because sometimes they're more effective for people. Sometimes not, but you know. And I found this new person on social who didn't trigger me as a dude, and I'm quite engaged to kind of continue to watch him. And he works with other women as well and men. But I'm finding myself moving into this where I'm really over division of any kind. So like even like groups of men getting together, I'm like, I just think we should all be getting together. And like it's fair enough to get together like men and women's retreat and like women go talk about stuff, men go talk about stuff, and then we come together and talk about it. But I'm like, I think it's kind of like shitty to segregate like this is men and this is how men are and da 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 da. When like if anything, so many of our issues are the fact that we are taught to be divided and like we're taught that like we're different. So boys wear blue and girls wear pink and da da da. And that stuff goes deep in that divide and conquer program. And so like at this early stage in our awakening, I'm just like, no, we can't just like divide ourselves up again. We can't just make it, boys should be doing this and girls should be doing this. We need to just be a little bit more delicate with it all. I'm so talking shit with you guys this morning, and I'm not sure if I'll post this or not, but I think I will. I'm like, good morning. Is this entertaining for you? I don't know. Because where am I? I'm being a beauty tutorial vegan style. And this is where I'll show you guys my vegan. I did a very brief little mascara tutorial. Oh, it's not there. It's here, I think. And so this was my vegan zero waste mascara. And as you can see, I have used some, and I did a tutorial, and I used it for a couple of days. This is where, like, again, vanity get in the way. This is not waterproof. Now, that's okay, and I will keep that. I'm gonna keep it, and I will use it from time to time. Like, I might use it when I'm running low on stuff. So my next alternative was obviously to go vegan, at least, and then reuse this brush. See, vanity got in the way of zero waste, you guys. There, I'm honest. I try to be honest. I wonder if I could refill this somehow. Anyway, this is a vegan yoga. Guys, look, I bought it because it says yoga on it. No, I didn't. Yoga mascara waterproof. And yeah, that's right. I have a style and I'm still putting fucking mascara on because that's just how badass I am. Can you guys tell that there's like a little swelly patch there? So this mascara is the juice of life, actually. It's like my favorite mascara now. Obviously, the only reason I bought it was because it's vegan. And every time I say vegan, I want to say vegan cruelty free because that's often, I guess, like what the title says. And then in my mind, or someone, again, possibly one of these beauty guru people, so I haven't have I set the light up properly as well? Like, to be more beauty guru vibes. So I yeah, I don't know what I was even saying, you guys. I'm too distracted focusing on my mascara. However, talking about going back to like the eye dye, my thing is like I always this is why I practice self-healing and stuff and like straight up I don't even know when I went to the hospital or doctor last. Um I do get guided to certain foods. I'll get guided to certain even stuff like vitamin C or whatever. Mainly sleep and rest is like the ultimate healer. And then just trying and just doing your utmost to stay in a relaxed state of being, right? So your state of consciousness is really what keeps the vessel in in a vibrational kind of vortexual reality that is well, that is healthy, that is like familiar for you and you do know how to keep it healthy. So I just like practice self-healing all the time and stay well and you know, vanity is just a thing. We've always adorned ourselves. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But what's important for women especially is that we really do love our nakedness. That might sound really kind of out there. But for me anyway on this whole expansive transformational journey, it's been really important for me to love my nakedness, to love my naked face, to love my naked body, to love all of it. And then all of this extra stuff is just fun. It's not like my self-worth is attached to this mascara. It's not like my self-worth is attached to the shape of my body, but there is an integrative knowing of the self. And it's that integrative process of knowing of the self which allows you to really show up as the person you desire to be and not be running unconscious programs of your family lineage, of your ancestry, or of the social programming. Women, men alike, we have a lot of social programming around how we're meant to look in this culture. And none of it is true or real, except for the fact that it can make us feel bad about who we are when we don't fit into that very narrow um, perspective, right? Of this is how man looks and this is how woman looks, and come on, people, look around. That's not true at all, is it? We all look completely different. We're all completely unique. And again, in this covert way, women are even more so than men, but it's no, I like there see that? Uh-oh. No, it's the same for all of us. We're all programmed, to deny and then try to fit in. Oh, guys, I just got an email through as I'm doing this that's reminded me. Oh, by the way, you see what I'm doing here? I'm just caking it on. I'm just caking it on. I'm just caking it on. That's kind of my thing. So my thing. This is my thing, you guys. No other woman ever in the history of the world has ever caked on her mascara to make her eyelashes look black and thick as fuck. So I'm just talking a bunch of bullshit, but some of it's probably relevant to like the plight of awakening. um and for it to be cool cuz it's just you waking yourself up and you claiming your freedom and your star power. So throughout the day, this is like pretty much my makeup routine before I would go live. And then sometimes I actually put some eyeshadow. Should I put eyeshadow on for you guys? Yeah, maybe I'll do a little more because it's like more tutorial-y. Except I'm not finding my little thing. This is oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. So I have like other bits and pieces. One, I have a I don't even know what they're freaking this is how, like, a non into the makeup industry I am. It's, like, white lighter, but it's like a stick, and then throughout the day, when I drive to London or do something and I wanna check myself out because that's a regular thing, just to even feel beautiful on the commute is, like, a thing for me. So, this stuff kinda runs out a little bit, and I don't have that, so I like to have basically usually just the only thing I have so I'll put my makeup bag away, but then what I have in my actual, um, makeup bag or sorry, my purse, like, which is carried on your person where you usually put that away in, like, another bag. Um, so I'll have, um, this concealer stick, which is just a stick that when I put it under my eyes it's like this, but it's like lipstick. It's not like one of these like squeezy things, which by the way I've had for ages and I'm just going to be getting rid of it. And to be honest, I'll probably buy myself one of these, zero waste, plus an SPF. I'll probably buy one or two of these when I'm back in Indonesia and this will start to replace all of my plastic concealer type stuff. Concealer, there the word is. It just came out. So this is something that beauty people might do, and sometimes I do, um, because it makes your eyes even more like like a digitized face. Isn't it amazing that this is what like it's become for women? Like we paint our faces to kind of look a certain way, and yet there really is no standard for beauty. I don't know if you guys have really noticed this or not. Like we really are completely unique individuals, like, um, and, like, I kind of feel as well, like, throughout our lives, even our personal like, what we think of as beautiful changes as well, like, back in when I was in high school and this is probably so relevant for so many adolescents in our, like, sick culture, but, like, when I was 13 and 12, I was, like, obsessed with, like, the anorexic look. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were. Like, my dance teacher at the time was like, "I just love the anorexic look." Yeah, we all have fucking eating disorders, you wonder why. But when I say anorexic look, I'm like, it's not like healthy thin people. It's literally skin and bones where you look unwell, and I was, like, obsessed with that, and so many of us kinda young girls in that generation were, and I used to get those subscription magazines and sit around sit around and read those. Sassy 17. I joke about it, I think, either in a book that I co authored, Rise of the Badass. I talk about those magazines and reading them. I think in that one, or in my own book, I'm not sure. Um, so, yeah, those magazines are really kind of twisted because that's how this sounds maybe a little bit weird, and I had an awareness of it before the magazine, but it was actually from one of those kitty teeny bop magazines that I, like, learned about bulimia and then tried bulimia on for size. Because 'cause let's be honest, we're all meant to look like those girls in the magazines, and so as a young 12, 13-year-old who's desperately trying to stay skinny because all of her worth and validation is in the size of her body and how she looks in the world, you can see that dire social imprint. Thank God for my awakenings that I stopped buying those magazines and ingesting. And now I'm looking at this hair and being like, "Ooh, should I trim my hair? Should I go like to maybe like that kind of length and give her a really healthy trim?" No, I can't. You guys don't understand the plight of the long hair diva because every transformational cycle in my life or big shape-shifting cycle in my life, I end up cutting my hair, but I don't like it. I cut it to like my shoulders or like my chin, and then right after I'm like, ugh, what am I that? So this is the first time in my adult life that I've gone through another fucking breakdown, breakthrough, transformational cycle, but the hair has remained. The hair has remained. But I do think I'm gonna dye it. I do think at some point I'm gonna weave some more dark hair to match my roots and slowly start to like ease off the blonde ombre, because the other reason I'd even want to cut it is because this shit at the bottom is like death, basically. So where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about like more makeup hacks that you can do without really buying much makeup, and like other than like the sun stuff, which again, I'm going to reuse this pot forever. And so when I'm in the car and like I have hand-me-downs, so friends and people that I know, like people have so much shit, you guys. Like this is the thing about zero waste. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that we as a world could just not produce anything ever again, and we would all have more than enough. TVs, clothes, makeup, all of it, like forever and ever. We could shut down all of our production factories and literally just live really well off of like the shit that we've already produced that is just going to end up in a landfill. You know? And like, how weird is it that there's a few people making big bucks off of shit that just ends up in a landfill and then ends up in the fucking oceans, killing our ecosystems? It's kind of to do with our own personal greed, but then part of the compassion piece is realizing people are programmed to fucking shop. People are triggered to feel like there's this deep core wound of unworthiness, and then the whole media and kind of system is like set up to trigger that synaptic fight, that fight flight, that reptilian mind or brain, right? So like the media and like even a lot of our working environments, they're like set up, they trigger that. So humanity's like perpetually stressed out, but also in the fear, fight flight kind of aspect in their brain, and then they're programmed to like but pretend that it's all good. So you're in fight flight, but then you're trying to mask the fight flight, and then no wonder everybody just wants, let's just keep shopping, and then they're programmed like, buy this you'll be happy, buy this you'll be happy, buy this you'll get rid of that, buy this you'll be fine, buy this. And so everyone's like, okay, I'll just keep shopping and then everything will be fine. No, the fineness really has to come from within. And that's why Alta Love's online courses, I think, are the fucking legit badass truth of life or juice of life. Because they help people like genuinely like stop doing shit that is kind of what makes us act out in these fucked up ways, other than like the absolute, without a doubt, suffering shit that we just are gonna have to go through in our lives. Like there's that, and then there's like stuff that we can do to just make life a little bit clearer, more calm. And that's the article I'm going to finish today, is 4 tips. Is it 4? Yeah, I think it is. 4 tips on how to stay clear, calm, and true to you. It's very like good, isn't it? It's like a, hey everybody, stay calm, stay true. So that's on Badassery Unleashed. She'll be publishing that. I'll share it obviously everywhere when I do get it. And I'll remember to share it on the post here too. So when I look at my face in my 5-minute tutorial here, guys, 5 minutes, yeah. I'm gonna just do a few more bits and bobs to make myself feel and look like extra special for you, but also to show you how to do spiritual makeup. Is this a spiritual makeup tutorial, you guys? No, it's not. Labels are such bullshit. We're just all people vibrating a whole bunch of shit, and we're finding that collectively, oh my god, there's tools to vibrate less shit and more not shit. So more of us are trying to vibrate less shit. Some people are in denial of their shit. Other people don't even know that they are all of it as well. You know, that's the thing about like remembering there's people still just like in the Matrix that think that the Matrix is like fully the real reality, and you're like, okay, Yes, the world is outside of you and it's completely separate, and you have nothing to do with the world that you perceive. Nothing at all. Yes, that's the real world. Just keep giving everybody your power. So I'm distracted, but like I'm not, because I'm blabbing on some shit as well, which is obviously really useful. Like, you guys want to hear everything that I have to say and everything that I'm thinking about. And this is like, oh no, oh yeah. So this is another little thing that I do. I sometimes use this brown color because my mom gave it to me. And other than that, yoga mascara, you guys, which I specifically looked for as vegan mascara product. Everything else, and then this, but this is a zero waste product, so I bought this for myself. Katie Finch. This is in case I ever forget my other toothbrush, and I always have a toothbrush on me, but this is bamboo. Katie Finch bought this for me. Otherwise, all this makeup that I've had has been with me, or like a part of the family. So I have like a comb, which I've had just like, I have no idea how long in there, and all of it is used though. I have scissors, I have clippers, I have, you know, a nail file, which has been in my family for like a really, really long time. It's made with things that last forever, and that was like another thing that even my dad was like, see, your mom had one of these, and like now all these people use these disposable nail files, and like, yeah, we don't make things like with the same quality. And the thing is, what we're very aware of is like, there's like, we can, and in a way we have to start to understand that this sort of conveyor belt shopping is insane, and it's actually kind of a disease inside of us. And I'm aware of it. Like, we can use shopping as a form of retail, right? And it's okay. I'm like, with the amount of waste and consumption, I'm like, guys, like, this isn't cool. If we're consuming to the point of like killing innocent sea life and potentially actually completely destroying the ecosystem of our oceans, which would then probably destroy the ecosystem of the planet, like, can we change, please? And it's not like we don't, it's not like we don't shop anymore. Like, this stuff is all fun. This is also this demystifying the idea that like spirituality is something to do with like renouncing material world. No, we need spiritual people in the material world making changes, right? And I'm like a deeply, deeply connected spiritual person who is vain and loves makeup. And I want to share with you this kind of like funness of, and then there's the thing of like, no, I don't drink alcohol, but I don't do it because I want to be spiritual. I do it because as a human, alcohol didn't resonate with me. But I've mentioned this. I enjoy like psychedelic plant medicine. I enjoy cannabis. I enjoy other things. I don't take pharmaceutical drugs. Some people do, and I'm like, hey, whatever works for you, it's fine. At the same time, I face my life as well. I don't like escape stuff. I feel it as and when. But let's be honest, for some of us, having a split from time to time takes a nice little edge off. Just like somebody who drinks alcohol would be like, oh, I have a glass of wine, it takes the edge off. And I'm like, oh wow, I could never do that with alcohol. One glass always turned into 3 or 4, and then I'd be on the floor, and then I'd be vomiting the next day. Or end up in a really shitty, scary situation. Like rape and yep. So that's little insight. Okay, so I'm like doing more um because I'm making this into like a tutorial and having fun with it. And yeah, and I think this is I think a lot of us modern women doing spiritually stuff is like making it fun and making you realize like, no. If anyone makes you feel like you're less spiritual for wearing makeup, they're a douche. People in general making each other feel bad, you know, that's not cool. Let's build each other up. and just totally 100% accept each other. So the final thing I wanted to do, and I have this stuff that Katie gave me, this like kind of gold elixir stuff that I actually use as, I don't know what people call it. It's the stuff that, oh, highlighter, I think people call it. So like I'll literally put this golden kind of like um oily stuff right here, sometimes here and here. Yeah, I've watched some of those beauty tutorials, guys. I know what they do, and so I copy. Beauty guru! Beauty guru! I am an idiot. It's 6:30 in the morning, friends. I'm not an idiot. Life is just fucking weird. Okay, so there's some Livy, and that this is old. This I believe this is, again, like I don't throw stuff out. I'm like, if it's still got color, it's still usable on my face. But I'm pretty sure my sister either sent this to me from Vancouver or I bought it. But that means if I bought it last year at the beginning of 2012, which is insane. Clearly, I don't use this stuff. And I never do this, but I feel like doing this today because I look kind of pale in the light. So I never do this, but this is a trick. I don't buy blush. I don't like have a lot in here, weirdly. Like, you know how some girls have like stacks and stacks of makeup? I like it all to fit tidily in one little bag and to have space in the bag. The thing is, I also have some jewelry that I like to travel with, mainly some necklaces that I like to swap, and my moon cup, which I'm not going to show you, but I have my little baggie for my moon cup is always in there. I have a little baggie for ocean that has my rings and some spare these guys, you know, in case they fall out, you don't want to lose your piercing. I have this jar of vitamin C and different things that I sometimes take, including turmeric and magnesium. However, I really only take vitamins if I'm guided to, which seems to be less and less lately. I'm finding food and like nutritionally type stuff is just not, I literally like just don't think about it. I just live and enjoy and then shapeshift as and when I'm guided to certain things. So now I have a bit of pinky on my cheeky, and I think that looks quite nice actually. So I have this, and then I have my little like ointment things, right? So there's loads, like it's quite empty. It's not loads in there. There's some lipsticks. That is like actually I didn't buy these. Again, actually, I other than my mascara and my sun stuff, I'm like, I just don't buy. Plus, because of like being known for being a bit vain, like people send me stuff. However, this year is going to be different, friends, because I am. So, as part of the Zenful Zero Waste course, you guys, when Katie was making the transition, approaching the holidays last year, like before we even wrote the course, or she wrote the course, she sent an email, like a Christmas zero waste email to all of her family and friends, basically about like, don't buy me presents, some tips and tools for how to wrap and do this, that, and the other. And it was a huge success for her. Her family and friends really got on board. And so that email is actually in the course, and I'm going to use it this year. So in the next probably week or so before, because I have Canadian family, before people start sending stuff over to the UK, I'm going to cut and paste Katie Finch, the Zenful Zero Waste teacher, her email, her kind of holiday email. I'm going to cut and paste it, and I'm going to send it to the people in my life who send me presents at the holidays, so that they know that, in fairness, I'm somebody who's quite like, cash is fine, you guys. But I'm also somebody who accepts who's gracious and loves gifts. At the same time, I'm gonna be really impressed with my zero waste gifts. Like, and that was something I was mentioning to a good friend yesterday, was like, I'm gonna make stuff. I've already got some big bottles of oils, and I've got some Epsom salts, and I've got some I just got some rose essential oil. So I'm going to be um making just beautiful, maybe salt scrubs and pretty smelling oils for some of my girlfriends, and then the guys, you get nothing. After my last two rants, the men in my life, you get nothing. You're just no. See, I do it with all a grain of salt, you guys. I'm not actually like an angry, raging feminist type of person, but like clearly there's some social shit still between us as men and women, especially like, yeah. Look at me. Look, I'm just like staring at myself. How boring is this for you guys? But I think the makeup looks pretty good today. Um, this is hand me down from friend. This is a super old ring that one of my one of my boyfriends bought for me once. And that's it. That's like my makeup bag, but like there's other stuff in here too. And I'm like the opposite of a hoarder. If anything, I'm somebody who like cleanses probably too much, and then like 6 months later I'll be like, damn, I shouldn't have got rid of that sweater. I really dug it. But in the moment it was like vibrationally, I just like feel, and always have to work with the feeling, and like vibrationally sometimes I just can't like hold on to something. I'm like, "Yeah, there's energy attached that just feels heavy, burdensome, twisted," and I just don't like clutter. I get like, and I think that's actually part of mindfulness though, and I do talk about it in the book. Like there's, if we're ever feeling off, stuck, whatever, clear out, clean out, clean some shit out. Like even my, and this is like something I just love, but like I even have like empty drawers. I recently have moved some things around and got some nicer pieces rather than what was here before. And yeah, I now have three different chests of drawers on different floors in this apartment. And the most of the cupboards are empty. And I can't quite, unless you get where I'm coming from, I can't quite express to you like how, and this is somebody who like there were people in my life who considered me to be OCD. Like even in my early 20s and stuff, when people were partying, or I'd invite people over and there'd be like druggy, drunken people all over, and I would probably be possibly high on something or possibly drinking, but I was cleaning. At 3 in the morning, when everybody was like doing more cocaine, I would be going around like cleaning the flat and making sure everything was tidy. And yeah, a lot of people never quite understood why I like clean like that, but it's something to do with my mind and my clarity. And like I just, everything everywhere in my house is organized. Cupboards with bedding are organized. All the, and that's just like, when you like to live like this, you like to live like this. I've had a lot of learning in myself to just let people live how they want to live how they be, and like have no judgy vibes. At the same time, according to feng shui, we know that like energetically it is good for us. So like, there, little top tip after this 5 minute makeup tutorial. It's a full hour episode, you guys. I just saw 53. So after this 5 minute makeup tutorial, little bit from the Fearless Life Guide. Don't forget to sign up to my tribe, you guys. You can pay £22 a month and have access to like loads of exclusive video content based on the book, which can help you process, transform, get through stuff, and give you much cheaper discount calls and perspective calls with me. Yeah. That was going somewhere, but I clearly don't know what because I got distracted by my own beauty. So I hope that was fun and useful to you guys. Feel free to share your comments if you got through the whole vid. Great. If you want any tips or top tips for being a spiritual beauty guru, then feel free to get in touch with me. Otherwise, just love your face with and without makeup. Love your body with and without clothes, and love everyone else's, because we are all in this together, and we all have our own struggle, and at the same time we all have our own expressive creative talents and our creative gifts. And putting makeup on is not a creative gift for me, but I do enjoy it, and I think it's fun that I can like put this paint on my face and be kind of like bah, and then take it off at night and still be like bah, without it, and have this gooey love inside, and still be a material girl in a material world, because we are living in a material world. But where does this material world come from? It comes from a spiritual, you guys. So if you want to be creating consciously in the material, you do got to connect to your spiritual, and then infuse your beingness with the spirit of you, and then make that manifest in the world. That's how I live. And it's fun. People think it's weird. People call you names and sometimes dump their shit on you, but that's okay, because you get better at realizing, like, oh, that's not mine. Oh, I don't need to carry it. Ping, ta-la-la, and then you're free. And then you get better at venting and expressing. And yeah, I'm really over people telling me what to do, or again, those weird comments of people being like, "This is just yeah, I fucking know, dude." I get like, stop with the advice. Let's all stop trying to pretend like we know what's right for each other, and just hold space. Why can't we just fucking hold space and like have compassion for each other? Life can be fucking weird and intense, just like me sharing the other day. It's brutal when you get dumped and rejected. People you think are cool then like run away from you and want nothing to do with you. You're like, oh, okay. It's like when you're really little and you go to a new school and people are like, want to be friends? And you're like, okay, but I'm scared because I'm new and I don't know anyone. I used to be one of those kids, by the way. Like, I spent hours by myself playing, hours and hours and hours, from the age of like 3, 4 to my parents would find me like alone with the neighborhood dogs after like 6 hours of searching for Molly. Like, the neighborhood, where's Molly? Oh, we found her with the neighborhood fucking German Shepherd. And I'd go to the creeks and I'd go like, play outside. And then I'd also be one of the kids who'd get maxed out at like a birthday party. All the children are running around and I'd like run off to the corner and be like, I want to go home. When you're little and you just can't stop crying. Yeah. And like I'd wake up in the middle of the night at sleepovers and call my mom and like, so I would leave situations. Guys, I gotta go before it turns into one whole hour of a 5-minute makeup tutorial. I gotta go. So I hope that was useful to you. I hope that you enjoyed watching me apply my makeup vegan style, and hold me accountable. Let's get this zero waste makeup tutorial happening full on. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye.